Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Edwin Sifuna has finally received the nod from Luhya leaders and the Luhya Council of Elders to challenge William Ruto for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2027.
Edwin Sifuna, sikia vizuri. Edwin, sikia. You have a responsibility like no one else.
And that's a very big political development in the Republic of Kenya.
This time round tumesema kwamba tungoje mpaka 2032. Tumesema 2027 ndio mwaka wetu. Na mimi I want to face Kenyans and ask them. Mtu angalie vile mnatuona sisi. Tunatosha ama tutoshi? Mkisema kwamba hatutoshi, mtuambie sababu ni gani? Na nyinyi mmeona tumejipanga vizuri, mmeona kijana wetu hapa, si ndio?
And who would have imagined that Edwin Sifuna would be a credible presidential candidate in 2027? Because if you were to be asked this question last year, June, most of you guys would not have imagined it.
The mission in 2027 is not to make Sifuna senator. The mission in 2027 is to rescue our country. Whatever it takes, Trevor, if it takes Sifuna losing the Senate of Nairobi to kick William Ruto out and make him a one-term president, so be it. That is a higher calling than me being senator, you know? In this video, I want us to talk about that endorsement and the things Edwin Sifuna must do urgently, because the task ahead is not a joke. But let us look at some two facts. The first fact is that if Edwin Sifuna were to be endorsed by the Luhya nation and receives the support from the other principals, he can easily defeat William Ruto. Number two, Edwin Sifuna is actually fitting into what most Kenyans have been looking for: a credible presidential candidate who represents a fresh start. And therefore, Sifuna can easily defeat William Ruto in 2027.
As a staunch Linda Mwananchi supporter, I have my presidential candidate as we are speaking, President Sifuna wa Kenya, a man of the people. You have just seen what has transpired when he went to for the burial. He has been received like a king, and surely he is. We are moving forward, and State House, here we come. Our presidential candidate is a massive character, a person who knows what he wants and what he does, a person who speaks of what people needs to hear and what people needs to know. President Sifuna, kudos bro, we are coming.
But the truth is, Edwin Sifuna must do a few things. The first thing he must do as a matter of urgency is that he must initiate talks with Kalonzo Musyoka, Matiang'i, and Gachagua. The truth of the matter is that Edwin Sifuna alone cannot win. Let me take you to Mulongo yesterday. During yesterday's Mulongo rally, it was packed, it was full, it was overflowing. It shocked the entire country. But let's assume that we are in 2022. Let's assume we are in 2027. And the people of Mulongo go to the polling station and they find the name of Edwin Sifuna and that of Kalonzo Musyoka. Who do you think they would vote for? The truth is, the Kamba nation always vote for Kalonzo Musyoka 100%. So which means for Edwin Sifuna to translate the crowd we saw in Machakos, he must initiate urgent talks with Kalonzo Musyoka. Let's take the case of Kisii, because the other day, Edwin Sifuna was also in Kisii. The Kisii have settled on one of them, Fred Matiang'i. As a matter of fact, one of the key people around Sifuna is Pauline Njoroge. Most people believe that Pauline Njoroge is working for Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. But the truth of the matter is that if elections were held today in Kisii, Matiang'i will emerge victorious. But the key people around Sifuna, that is Kibagendi and of course Onyonka, all of them are allies of Fred Matiang'i, which means at some point they'll definitely move to Fred Matiang'i's side because politics is local. So the truth is, for Edwin Sifuna to make serious political impact, he must initiate talks He must engage with Kalonzo, he must engage with Matiang'i, he must engage with Rigathi Gachagua, and hope that he will be able to persuade all these guys to support them. Because I've seen somewhere where people are saying that, if Rigathi is not on the ballot, then us as Mountain, we are not going to vote. We've also seen somewhere where people are saying that if Sifuna will take us to Rigathi, for example, we will not be able to vote for Rigathi Gachagua. So he must initiate those talks as a matter of urgency. Number two, Sifuna must now form his own political party. The Linda Wananchi, which they've been using, was actually coined from Linda grounds to counter Oburu. And you saw what ODM did. ODM yesterday conducted their rally in Kisumu, and they branded it purely ODM. That was by design. It was a message to Edwin Sifuna. And if you followed the event in Mlolongo, it was hugely successful. But one thing was also very clear during that event, that ODM was not the main party, because that was a wipe-up event. So for Edwin Sifuna to make meaningful impact, he must form his own political party, because the truth is ODM has now left his grip. So he can either form his own political party or join one of the existing political parties. I've seen so many people have told me, Lee, it's still premature for Edwin Sifuna to form his own political party. But the truth is, there is no way he will be able to engage with Kalonzo. There is no way he will be able to engage with others. There is no way Edwin Sifuna will even be able to know those who are really with him, unless he will form his own political party. You never know. Even Orengo might actually be harboring the intention of forming his own political party. And therefore, if Sifuna were to form his party, he would leave. So the truth is, Sifuna should not wait long for him to form his own political party. He should treat that as a matter of urgency.
Sifuna lazima atang'ang'ania urais.
Okay.
Orengo naye atakuwa pale ndani.
Okay.
Ososi, watu hawa watatu.
Ndio.
Babu tunamweka hapa Nairobi kama governor.
Okay.
Umesikia bwana?
Alright.
Lakini watu wako mbele saizi ni hawa watatu.
Katika chama gani?
Katika Linda Mwananchi. ODM ni yetu hiyo, Linda Mwananchi ODM. Hao wengine wasio ODM, hawa tayari wameshaenda.
No, chama ambacho kitakuwa katika ballot paper kitakuwa ni gani mheshimiwa?
ODM Linda Mwananchi.
Kwa hivyo ODM Linda Mwananchi ni chama kwa hivi sasa.
Chetu hicho, hao hawana chama.
Nataka uconfirm kitu Mheshimiwa Ndolo. Kwa hivyo ODM
Mheshimiwa Ndolo,
Linda Mwananchi, it's a party right now.
Ala, wewe umeona wamemfukuza? Wamefukuza Sifuna?
Bado hujanijibu Mheshimiwa Ndolo, nataka unijibu. Kwa hivyo kwa hivi sasa tuseme ODM Linda Mwananchi ni chama cha kisiasa.
Chama chenyewe hicho ndio maana chama kitakuwa cha kuweza kubadilisha maisha ya wananchi. Hawa watoto, hawa vijana msiwadharau.
So, Mheshimiwa Ruben Ndolo, swali la Mwashumbe narejelea tena. Katika ballot paper, ikiwa kwa mfano Edwin Sifuna atakuwa anawania urais, kutakuwa na picha ya Edwin Sifuna pale. Alafu picha ya chama kitakuwa ni gani?
Hata cheza lazima.
Na chama katika ballot paper kitakuwa ni gani? Chama.
ODM
gani?
Linda Mwananchi.
Kwa hivyo ODM narejelea tena Mheshimiwa. Kwa hivyo ODM Linda Mwananchi is a political party. It's a political party.
Mashumbe.
Mheshimiwa, have you registered a party called
hata kesho tutaregister mambo yako. Hawa,
have you registered a party called ODM Linda Mwananchi?
Ngoja nikwambie Makideu.
The third thing he must do is to consolidate the Luhya nation. There's a video I did yesterday, and I received a lot of caning from you guys. And I was wondering, do people really sit down and comprehend? The reason I am giving that example is because, you see, for Sifuna to win the presidency, first of all, he must consolidate the entire Luhya nation. What does consolidating the Luhya nation mean? Doing what Rigathi Gachagua has done in Mount Kenya, so that nobody can actually challenge Rigathi Gachagua in Mount Kenya. According to IBC figures, in the last election, registered voters from the Luhya nation were around 2.6 million. It is projected that by 2027, the number will shoot to 3.5. 3.5 million votes cannot make Sifuna the president. But he can consolidate the Luhya nation so that the nation will see the need of one of their own winning the presidency and therefore register more numbers. Because if you look at the population of the Luhya nation vis-a-vis the population of the Kikuyu nation or Mount Kenya, and you look at the registered voters, you realize that in the Luhya nation, there's still that window of registering more people. By the way, I'm using power backup solar because power went off, so it's temporary. I can see it has started going down. Normally, when it rains here, steamer inaenda. So I was saying he must consolidate the Luhya nation so that if he's addressing a funeral like the one he addressed in Bungoma, where you guys were stoning me, you see, it sends bad signal that Didmas Baraza can live with the crowd while Sifuna is speaking. You see, in the Luhya nation, when Raila was alive, nobody would do that. No leader would dare live with a crowd when Raila is talking. Those are the realities of life. So I pointed out that that was something to worry, because it seems the Luhya nation, as much as they're embracing Sifuna, they've not really embraced it fully. There's still a window which somebody can decide to do what? To exploit. So you must consolidate. And importantly, there is what we call resource mobilization. This is something I keep on repeating. 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya is going to be the most expensive election in the history of this country. William Ruto will do everything possible to try and retain power. We know how he's made money. We know his allies have made money. We know William Ruto actually bought the mountain during the last election. So the truth of the matter is that in 2027, the campaigns are going to be very, very expensive. And even if the campaigns are not going to be expensive, for one to traverse this country, it's not cheap. Power imerudi, by the way. So for one to traverse, for Sifuna and his team, let's say Sifuna will be running for the presidency. He has a team, advanced team, the communication team, the security team. Some of these people will be with him. For him to leave Nairobi, to go to Kakamega for a political rally, I want to tell you, it's not cheap. It's very expensive. And because of the cost implication, he must embark on resource mobilization. If it's Uhuru Kenyatta who is funding his activities, he must now go beyond that. The Luhya nation with money must now put that money on Sifuna. They must bet it. There's something which I keep on telling people, because in the last election, I was a bit close to Raila Odinga's, let me adjust my normal power, Raila Odinga's campaign team. And I remember Raila Odinga organized some fundraiser, the Luhya professionals. People were there, Villarosa, Cape Kingsley. People were there. You know, Luos with their suits, Mercedes Benzes, they came in large numbers. So when the time for contributions came, most of them were contributing 100,000 here. Even people you thought would contribute 10 million, very few people contributed 500,000. Someone was telling me that while we were there, one of the Tycoons from the Mount Kenya was meeting Raila Odinga. And then he offered his chopper for Raila Odinga. And in that sitting, he gave Raila close to 50 million as part of that campaign. And that's why most people were wondering why Raila Odinga's campaign or Raila was actually surrounded with mostly the mountain. It's because of the money they contributed. So the Luhya nation must be willing, and this is not a joke, this is going to be war. They must be willing to fund Edwin Sifuna. If they will not be able to fund Edwin Sifuna will not get enough money. And what will it mean? It will mean Edwin Sifuna will have to look for money elsewhere. And that's how someone who is corrupt will come with this 50 or 100 million and put into that campaign, and they'll be controlling that campaign. And importantly, Sifuna must embark on grassroots networks. Edwin Sifuna was the Secretary General of ODM Party. That's a fact. And as the Secretary General of ODM Party, he has the ODM structure. He can take advantage of that to create his own networks. There is no way, and I keep on giving the case of Kalonzo Musyoka as an example. If I go to my village today and you tell me to go and look for a Wiper Party official, I'm 100% sure, and I'm honest, I can't get. So which means if elections were held today and Kalonzo is on the ballot, he might not have an agent in my ward. So for Sifuna, he must embark. The political rallies are good because right now, who doesn't know Sifuna? Who doesn't know Miminde Sifuna? So it must get beyond the rallies now to grassroots, because grassroots network will help in vote protection, if the time comes, agents, and of course, visibility of the party. Most people claim that, oh, ODM transported their supporters due to Kireme. That's it. But not supporters. What ODM does is that when they have event, they tell their supporters, not really supporters, their structure, they use their structures. They come to Nyakach and they go to my ward and then they get the officials, put them in a bus. Those are party officials. Very, very important. ODM, as per structured, the officials alone are 1.5 million. So if Sifuna can create such kind of a network, he will be able to know that, you know, these are the number of people I have through my networks alone. Raila Odinga was comfortable because every time his supporters alone were to wake up, officials, not supporters, they were sure of 1.5 million votes. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what you think. What's your take? Until next time, this is Makwiny.